titled my presentation, I Will Stand By You, and you guys will find out in a little bit. So on June 6th, 2015, it was just a regular summer day. My sister was at work at the grocery store, my mom was at work at the bank, my dad was at the farm with my little brother, and they were doing boy things, you know, I don't know what they do.
It's probably good.
I was at the Broken Bow swimming pool lifeguarding like I usually do. It was a really nice day, you know, all the kids were behaving. And then all of a sudden, my manager walks out to me and she's like, Kendra, I'm gonna take over for you for a little bit. You have a phone call in the office. And I'm thinking, this is kind of cool. No one ever calls me at work. Wow, what's going on? So I walk over to the office, you know, like kind of like, you know, like a million things going through my head, like, what if my mom like says, hey, we're coming to pick you up and go shopping, like tell you know, I had no idea what was going on. Well, it turns out it was my mom, but it wasn't that she was picking me up for something fun. She said, are you in a place where you can talk? And I was like, yeah, why? And she goes, well, your dad had an accident at the farm. He's being rushed to the hospital in Kearney right now. He might be blind. And she said, there's really no reason for you to take off work. Like, it's fine, just stay at work. We'll catch you up on everything when you get off of work. Just say a prayer for him because he's very scared. So I'm thinking, oh, okay, you know, I was like, I kind of want to take off work though because I don't really want to be here because it sucks. So I'm sitting at work, you know, and I'm kind of just like, what's going on? And my boss is like, Kendra, like, what was that? Who was that? And I said, oh, it was my mom. And she goes, well, what did your mom want? And I said, well, you know, she said my dad had an accident at the farm. She didn't really tell me much, but she said, like, I don't need to leave or anything, so that's fine. Like, I can still stay here. But, you know, like any good daddy's daughter does, I'm kind of worried. I'm like, you know, what's going on with my dad? Did something happen? Like, because, you know, when he works at a farm with big machinery, you know, anything can really happen. So I kind of start freaking out because, as you can tell, my dad and I have a very, very special connection. He's one of my absolute best friends in the whole world. So my boss can obviously tell that I'm upset, and she's like, Kendra, you should go. If your dad's at the hospital in Kearney, you know, go home, pick up your siblings, and go see what's going on. You know, he needs you right now if he's scared. And all I knew is that he could be blind. So I'm like, oh, awesome, okay. And my dad's the kind of guy that he needs his vision. He would not be able to function. Like, sitting around blind would just be absolutely terrible for him because he's a go-getter type of guy. So I run home, and I didn't run home, I actually drove home. But I went and I got my siblings, and my sister's hysterical, bawling, and my brother is freaked out, you know, like doesn't know what's going on because he was there when it happened, but he didn't understand anything. And so my grandpa had actually brought my brother home after the ambulance picked up my dad. So he's kind of freaked out. So we get in my car and we head down to Kearney, where my mom told us that a tire had actually blew up in my dad's face. And my brother had actually, the tire had a hole in it, and they had patched it up, and my dad let my brother air it up once they put it back on the pickup. And the funny thing is that the tire had been on there for 5 to 10 minutes, and my grandpa's like, hey, don't you want to put the hubcap on? So my dad does, and as he's going to stand up, the tire just blows up out of nowhere. And they didn't really have any idea why. And so my siblings and I are talking as we're driving down there, and we're like, you know, we don't know what we're gonna see, we don't know like how he's doing, that kind of thing. There's really nothing we can do for him. We just need to stand by him and be there for him. And it's really funny because as soon as we got in the car, this song actually came on, and it says, I will stand by you, I will help you through. So these next pictures are kind of gory, and so if you have like a weak stomach or don't like blood, you should probably look away, just fair warning. This picture is right after the accident happened. You can tell that there's like blood in his eyelashes. He actually fractured a bunch of bones in his face. It tore the iris away, and so it looked like he had 2 pupils, which you'll kind of see that in another picture. But it was swollen shut, and it was actually full of blood, so they didn't know if the retina was damaged because they couldn't see it because his eyeball was full of blood. This was in the ER at Good Samaritan Hospital, so this is about what it looked like when we got there and saw him. So, you know, when you see your dad, who's usually your hero, like that strong guy in your life, vulnerable like that, it was really just eye-opening and kind of of shocking for my whole family. And then this was about a week after the accident. His eye was still swollen shut, and you can see the other eye kind of had some bruising under it too. So he actually could not see out of either eye, so he had to sit there in like a dark room, you know, couldn't see, they didn't want him doing anything, because he couldn't see anything, couldn't open either eye, which was really hard for him. And then he had to wear an eye patch. Once he was able to open his other eye, it was tempting for him to try and open the bad eye, and they didn't want him to do that, so they made him wear an eye patch, so us kids would make light of the situation and call him a pirate, as you can see with that Snapchat in the far side. This middle picture is a good example where you can kind of see, like, right up here, can you guys see that?
Mm-hmm.
Where it looks like he has two pupils.
Yeah.
Because the iris is actually torn away. And so that was before he had surgery on it, and by this time all of the blood had cleared out of his eye, and they were like, yeah, there's no like damage to his retina, so they didn't know if he would get vision back completely. They said it was just kind of a waiting game to see. And then he actually had to go down to Omaha to an eye surgery specialist, and you can still see they put the iris back up there, but this is still like the pupil's still kind of misshapen. And they didn't know like it was scarred like that. So his pupil actually still looks like that, which is kind of cool, but he doesn't have 100% vision, like it never completely came back, so he has to wear glasses, which is really tough for him because he always had 20/20 vision. And if you look at this picture, it kind of looks like he has one like brown eye and one blue eye, and that's recently, like a couple weeks ago when I went home. But no, he has two blue eyes, but it's just because the one, like, it's scar damage where the pupil won't actually, like, it doesn't get smaller or bigger. It just stays big like that all the time. And so he has to constantly be wearing sunglasses so that he doesn't actually damage his eye. And no worries, he's actually back to his normal goofy self. So after a few weeks, he became lighthearted and tried to, like, that was actually a couple weeks after his surgery too. So I don't know if it's probably too dark. He still like has his eyes closed and they're all bruised up and everything, but he tried to be as lighthearted as possible because, you know, he didn't want us to be scared or worried about him. So yep, and he wears glasses still, but other than that, he's back farming. He still refs basketball, completely involved, that kind of thing. So yep, thank you.